I feel like I need to say one more thing to be like, listen,
Say it to
this,
me right now. Yep.
but listen, the way this all ended was really tough for me. And I'm imagining there was layers for you too. And I just want to say that I'm working towards forgiveness.
Okay, if I'm in his role and somebody said to me, Yvette, I'm working towards forgiveness, if I felt regret for something that I had done, I would feel so grateful. If I didn't think I did anything wrong, I would feel indignant and scornful.
So maybe forgiveness isn't the word, like just moving forward.
Yeah. And when you say there's layers for me, and I imagine there were for you too, do you believe that? Do you really think there are layers for him here?
I do, yeah. Maybe even that he's not aware of, just like,
Okay, but whoa, whoa, whoa. That piece is a very important distinction.
okay.
If we reflect back to somebody, I imagine there are layers for you too. You may be unconscious of them and you may not be awake enough yet to know everything that is going on for you, but I'm telling you indirectly that there are layers going on for you that you haven't looked at yet. You're not saying it like that.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to come across. We need to work with people at their level of awareness. We don't want to project onto them what we think they should be aware of, or what we believe to be true that they may not be aware of. That's a subtle boundary invasion. That's a inserting into you things that I believe about you that you have not validated. And what people will do with that is they will move further and further away. They'll have less and less communication, which might be fine if that's what you're wanting. But just as a general thing, if he said, yeah, it was complicated for me, and you reflect back, yeah, it was complicated for me and I can see it was for you too, that will be establishing connection because we're working with what both people would agree is there. How's this landing on you?
Yeah. You said it's instead of saying like I'm moving towards forgiveness, more like, this was a really complicated situation for me, and I'm guessing it was for you too. Like, can I still bring him into that? Is that what you said?
What do you think is the truth for him? What's your best guess of what it was like for him?
I think he thinks that he gave us an amazing price for an amazing house and we took advantage of it and blah, 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 blah. Like, I think he thinks he's in the right. And
So then that's what I would reflect to him because that's the truth of what you're imagining about him.
what do you mean?
You be him for a second.
Okay.
You know, here's how I might say it, given what a little bit I know right now. Hey, I want to just check in around the whole house landlord deposit thing because I'm still feeling unsettled and tense about how that all ended. And I have a story going on that you feel like you were taken advantage of and you gave us this amazing deal and that you were wronged in the following ways. And I think I have a parallel story about ways in which I feel like I have been wronged. And I wonder what it would take for both of us to just let that go and move forward together with a fresh start. I think we had different experiences going through this. I'm still feeling some disappointment and disorientation. I'm not sure what's going on for you. If there's anything you want to tell me, please do. But can we put this behind us and move forward with a sense of ease? Is there anything getting in the way of that for you? What do you think about those words? How do they feel?
Yeah, I think it sounds great.
I hear deflation in your voice as you say that.
It sounds like I need to be ready for like a loss,
And
like
the
a
loss,
humbling, like, what do I really want? I
yeah,
don't want the money. I don't want to move back. I don't want a new landlord relationship with him. I just want like peace.
yeah.
And I do kind of want to be right, but I can try to let that go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. What I'm hearing you say, tell me if I'm missing this, but what I'm hearing you say is in an ideal world, if this person had the capacity, I would want some acknowledgement and some empathy for the things that happened that were painful for me. I would just want them to know and care. I want the experience that they care about the impact that they had on me.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to be involved with people who are brave enough to talk when things get messy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so yes, you would like to build more intimate relationships with people who are brave enough to talk when people get messy. The bad news is the general public is not that.
Yeah.
And so the up level, if you want it, you don't have to have it, is am I brave enough to have conversations with people who do not share my values around this and who do not want to play the game that I'm playing? What will it take from me to be in relationship with people who are playing a different game than the one I'm playing? What can I do to work with them as they are and stop projecting onto them who I think they should be and recruiting them into how I want them to be? First, I've got to learn how to work with them as they are. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How's it feeling?
Sad.
Yeah, bad in what way? Bad,
No,
sad?
sad, sad, not bad.
Oh, sad, sad. Okay. I think,
Sad and real. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's real. I think it is sad. I think there, and I wonder if we can hold the sadness like a surrender, a surrender. There, when we begin really seeing through people's behavior and understanding it, this is now, I'm going to go back to something Marshall Rosenberg would say so often is every single behavior is just a strategy to meet a need. And when I can start seeing this bad, awful, horrible landlord who is high anxiety and self centered and uncommunicative and disrespectful and all these things, and I can begin loosening the grip in me of the right, wrong, good, bad, and I can begin understanding what would the circumstances in my own life need to be for me to show up like that. Sometimes I'll play a thought experiment with myself. What would need to be happening in my life for other people to perceive me in that way?
In which way? Sorry.
Like him. Like if somebody were to look at me and say, oh my God, that Yvette is completely uncommunicative. She's self-centered. She doesn't reply to anything. She is fighting over dumb little things that don't mean anything. She's not caring for how I feel. She's rude. She makes promises and then she drops them. Like if I go into like, okay, let's imagine I'm doing that.
It's like radical empathy.
Under what conditions in my life would I probably show up that way? And for me, it would probably be my daughter is dying of cancer. My dog has become violent and aggressive. I'm about to foreclose on my house. I have absolutely no security. I don't know where my next meal is going to come from. Like, I can imagine a way in which life might put pressure on me that people in my life might feel about me the way you're feeling about this man right now. Right? And that's not because these people don't matter to me, hearkening back to what I was saying earlier on. That's because my attention is locked up on other survival needs at the moment. And I just don't have it in me. And if somebody in my life came to me in that moment and said, but you didn't care for my needs enough and you didn't talk to me enough and I'm making this worse than you. I'm not saying you're like this, but I'm going to dramatize it for a second. You know, you hear all the things you did, and Yvette, you have lots of layers you're not looking at, and you're very unconscious. And, maybe you could just be more intimate with me and more vulnerable and self-revealing to me and work this through with me. I would feel missed in that moment. I would feel like I have no energy for this right now.
Mm.
And I probably wouldn't say it gently. I'd probably say, you know what? You are needy and high maintenance, and I have no need for that in my life right now. Off you go. Fine, fine. I don't need any reconciliation. Go, go, go. Because that's how we communicate and deal with people when we're under high. And I don't know if that's helpful to just get out of the idea that there's a good or a bad or a right and a wrong, that there are humans doing the best that they can. And very often there are so many people who won't be able to meet our needs in the ways that we wish. But that doesn't mean that it isn't available. I will be him for you and I will give you all the things. And then you come on this call and then you're like, let me go talk it out with people who love doing this work and are doing this work. And let me go get the things that I need and the validation that I need. And I will join you there immediately and say, yes, I wish you had a landlord who had shown up for you differently and didn't create this awkwardness and didn't trigger whatever it is for you.